So Enterprise One is budget Star Trek fanfic in the franchise that created fanfic. Don't at me, nerds. And I am watching it basically so that you do not have to. Enterprise One Episode 1 is called Our Long History, which I think is a refutation of Voyager's tendency towards mononyms. And it's also kind of like a premise for the weirdness of the series. It focuses on Chief O'Brien, a character I once described as a guy put into the show because they realized how diverse TNG was and panicked and added a bonus white guy. And then our three bad guys are all actually versions of good guys from alternate universes, and they're women and minority characters. I mean, one of them does turn good by the end because the lesson is that your past doesn't matter so much as your character right now. It's even O'Brien's character arc because he spends most of the second act pointing phasers at people until he has to draw down on Commander Ezri Dax from a timeline where that fucking happens, and eventually realizes that the specifics of who has been where aren't as important as understanding, that most people are trustworthy and working towards the same goal. And if someone's working against you, then you can cooperate to stop them. And that's what happens. It allows him to deliver the character's first Picard speech, convincing an evil, not really evil, but the, spoilers, I guess, Harry Kim from the timeline where Harry Kim has a splash of the Krenim bad guys' belief that time travel can solve all of his problems, mixed with Gul Dukat's reluctance to come to terms with his own flaws, not to destroy the Enterprise. Because the bad guys' plan is that they found in their own timelines an ancient artifact which lets them change history or move between timelines. It's not clear. And each one use it to change the history of the Enterprise, or maybe the universe. And their best idea was to use this to erase that one time they pissed their pants at a pep rally during freshman year at Starfleet Academy. But there's only so many cringe memories you can erase before you realize you're a fully grown, well-adjusted adult, and life still didn't turn out the way you expected. And it kind of gets there, but suddenly we're in a plot where the three of them seem to be stuck time traveling on the Enterprise. Well, multiple Enterprises, and covering each other's whoopsie doodles without really sufficient explanation beyond we're all on Team Evil, which isn't how evil works. It also doesn't explain how sometimes Scotty is younger than Tom Paris, or sometimes Dax is Ezri Dax, and sometimes Jadzia Dax, but never Curzon Dax, and also there's two of them. Maybe the time travel is based in some JJ radiation, if you get what I mean. Some, I don't give a fuck waves, if you take my point. Some time crystals radiating at a frequency of 2009 hertz, if you get my Star Trek 2009 temporal energy gives everyone facelifts reference. But that is the episode's point, really. Who gives a crap about everyone's specific history? You know these characters. Their core is here. They're all together with some sci-fi plots, deep moral lessons, and a little bit of action. Look, Chief O'Brien is going to turn to Jean-Luc Picard and say, "You, Captain," and do a cute little Irish chuckle at how silly an idea that is. "You're the head of the nerd division, Jean-Luc, not Captain." And then, because it's Jean-Luc Picard from a timeline more like ours, the Picard we recognize from TNG comes up in a fairly faithful production by the cast. And our mystery starts in earnest. And the casting is good. Obviously, no one is played by any actors we know, but they're not doing broad comedy impressions. Like, the one line of dialogue we get from Chekhov sounded like a real Russian accent instead of Koenig's comedy Russian. The little bits of iconic roles from Picard and Kirk and Spock were good enough. The guy they got doing our de facto lead in O'Brien, Beverly Crusher, Savick, and Harry Kim are all solid. They carried the episode the way they should. It's got that Avengers Endgame thing going on, where you recognize all of these people are from their own franchises, that most of them are just going to be there doing everything for the series that the guys holding the flags at the Olympics do for bringing home the gold. But it wouldn't be the Olympics without the flags, and Enterprise One wouldn't be intriguing without the oops, all main characters premise. So I had fun, and I look forward to seeing what happens next time.